we're going to use 2 of those wood boxes again from the Dollar Tree. This was one that I tried sublimation on, and so it was kind of just something I kind of needed to paint. So I'm going to go ahead and paint it and use it for part of this project. I want to make these 2 little boxes from the Dollar Tree into a coastal fireworks stand. Kind of like you would make like a lemonade stand or something, but I kind of want to design something that looked like a fireworks stand. I thought that'd be really fun. So the bottom one I kind of painted the bottom of, because that's going to be the front of the sign. This one I'm going to flip over and have it open so that I can put like fireworks and stuff inside of it. So it's going to have like, I need to just do the inside edges. I need to do the outside edges of that one, anywhere that one's going to be visible. But the bottom on that one is going to be the back of my fireworks stand, if I'm explaining that right. So I'm just kind of just painting where I need to paint, basically. Now, I want it to look like a fireworks stand, and so what I do is I'm going to measure like the inside of one of these boxes so I know how big it is. And I just went on Google search and like typed in, I think I typed in like fireworks on shelves or something like that. A fireworks store or something like that, and got a picture of fireworks on shelves. So it's going to give me a background that looks like there's all these shelves with fireworks on them. And I just printed that out on regular paper, and I made it the same size as the back of the tray. So I'm just Mod Podging that down, just a fun little detail to this fireworks stand, and was really easy to do. I am going to seal it in there with a couple coats of Mod Podge to make sure this isn't going to go anywhere. And that is a good start for the fireworks. I'm going to add more fireworks to it, of course, but I love that background. I think that really added a lot to this project. Now, this is how I plan to put it together. And that way it'll have like the front base. And then I thought I could use some of these jumbo popsicle sticks to kind of do the sides of the little fireworks stand. Like that, to kind of, you know, square it off a little bit. And then also doing one in, so I can do here a back panel. What I want to do is I kind of want to have like an awning come down. And so that is what that popsicle stick is going to be for. I'm going to paint those ivory, so there'll be a contrasting color, just the popsicle sticks. And then I also am going to use my Cricut for this one to make like words for the little side panels and also for the front of the fireworks stand. Now, I told you I was going to make a little awning for the top. And so I'm going to make that out of popsicle sticks as well. Instead of the jumbo, I think these are like the large ones. And I am just kind of cutting them down into size that I think is going to work well. I'm going to attach that one popsicle stick to the back, and then we'll have all of these little popsicle sticks like hanging over like a little awning. It really added to the effect. So I want to paint like half of them white, half of them red. And so I do like 3 in the ivory. And then I'm going to do 4 like in that crimson red. That way I can alternate them into little red and white stripes for the 4th of July. And this was definitely a really quick, easy way to do an awning for a DIY like this. And I love the vibe it gave it. So I'm also going to measure the popsicle sticks because, again, I said I was going to make words for all of this. And that is exactly what I did. I actually made my words go vertical with my Cricut, and I'm just using Dollar Tree red Cricut vinyl. And I'm going to have one side say sparklers and one side say rockets. I thought that'd be really fun. So just using some transfer paper, we're going to cut those apart. Again, I was using the Dollar Tree vinyl. It came off all on its own, but hey, at least it's all together, right? And we'll put rockets on that side and sparklers on this side. Not a fan of the Dollar Tree vinyl. I like it for other crafting, but for actual Cricut projects like this, as you can see, It's kind of more of a headache than it's worth. But we made it work. And now we can start putting this thing together. So sparklers on one side, rockets on the other. And then the front panel here, which I also want to add words to. I do go over and seal that vinyl down just because it was being, kind of iffy whether it was going to stay down with a little bit of Mod Podge. And then I go in with my Cricut again, and we are going to make a stencil. So I'm going to use some stencil vinyl, and we are going to use that to make stencils to do like a hand-painted front to the fireworks sign. And I am going to make it say Beachside of Fireworks. Here where I live, you either live, you live beachside or you live in town, so I'm going to have like Beachside be in cursive and then fireworks like in a big bold font. And you guys know I love using my Cricut to make stencils. It's one of the best parts. So we're just going to line those up on the sign and hand paint those onto the front of the sign to kind of personalize the little fireworks stand. I always like to use a little extra painter's tape as well to make sure that I don't go too crazy, but I'm just using some stencil daubers from the Dollar Tree and stenciling that on. We're going to do Beachside in the ivory, and then we're going to do the fireworks in bright red, so we still have our red, white, and light blue theme for this. I can't remember. I don't know if I saved what fonts these were, but I will try to find them. If I do, I'll put them in the description below. I don't think I actually saved them in Cricut. And so here's the fireworks that we're going to paint bright red. And again, you could just attach the vinyl for the words on this. I always think it looks a little bit more high-end when you paint it, but definitely for the smaller words that we did on the side, using the actual vinyl was definitely faster. So that looks really good. I like those colors together. I was going back and forth about what to make that say, but I think Beachside Fireworks is perfect. Now I'm going to go in and lightly distress all over with a little bit of ivory to give it that coastal vibe that I love. And kind of wipe off any excess with a baby wipe. Now I'm going to distress the top too, just to kind of make it match. You can see I didn't paint the top just because I knew I was going to be attaching an awning to the top. And I usually don't want to paint areas that I know I'm going to need to glue. So I think we finally came to the point where we can start putting this little fireworks stand together. So this is how I'm going to build the awning. I'm going to take that jumbo popsicle stick that we cut down to size, and we're going to attach it here to the back. I was trying to determine if I needed to use like a smaller popsicle stick as a brace, but I decided I didn't really need to. I just use a bead of hot glue along the bottom edge, and then we're going to stick that jumbo popsicle stick up like that. So the back of the tray will be higher so that I can have my awning kind of down at an angle. And we're going to alternate the red and white popsicle sticks that we cut down to size like that, so they'll kind of overlap the top of the fireworks stand. And I think that's going to work. So we can just use hot glue and start gluing those on straight across, alternating red and white. I just do a little hot glue on the popsicle stick on the top and a little hot glue on the bottom. They're so lightweight, they're very easy to glue on. And isn't that cute? I think that made a perfect little patriotic awning for this little fireworks stand. Now it's time to put it together. I'm going to use some wood glue and some hot glue to make it a little bit stronger and just sit that together right on top. Now, we had those little side panels that we made too with the popsicle sticks that say rockets and sparklers that are going to kind of box that in a little bit. And we can glue those on as well. And pretty much the fireworks stand is complete, but I wanted to take it up a notch and make it even more special. So we're going to make fireworks to sit on the counter of our little fireworks stand. So what I did is, again, I went online and tried to find like retro or antique, like, firework packages like the Black Cat. And I just printed out some really small images of like what little fireworks would look like. And then I just had some little bamboo sticks. You could use popsicle sticks, whatever you've got, something thin enough to cut down. And then I just cut down little wood pieces the same size as the little fireworks. And so when you look at them, they have great details. They look like little packages of like firecrackers. And so I did 2 of this one, and I did like 2 of the Black Cat ones. Probably the hardest part was just trying to get the images sized down enough for this. But this was really fun to do. And that wood is thin enough that I can just cut it to size. Just trimming them up, making them look a little bit better. And we can lay those on the counter. Now, I also got some of these like longer wood beads from the Dollar Tree. And I thought I would combine them with some toothpicks to make like some little colorful bottle rockets for our fireworks stand as well. So basically think miniature is what we're doing with this one. I picked out these long wood beads because I thought that would give me kind of the shape of a bottle rocket, right? If I cut down the toothpicks a little bit and attach those together. And then I can go back and even cover those with some paper. That's going to make them look even more patriotic. I just had some scrapbook paper. I think this was from the Dollar Tree even. And just some like red and white patterns. And I just wrapped that around them to kind of make them look like bottle rockets. And that was really fun. Anytime I can make a little miniatures like this for my craft, they really make me smile. So we're going to do like a red and white chevron pattern on this one. And just kind of leaning those up against the back of our fireworks stand. Then I thought I need sparklers. So I also printed out a very tiny image of sparklers. And I'm going to glue that onto a popsicle stick and cut that down to size as well. Because we can't have a fireworks stand without sparklers, right? I was trying to think of any of my favorite fireworks that we need to have on display here on the fireworks stand. Now, I want to make sure these things don't just kind of like fall all over the place. So I am going to attach them in here with hot glue to kind of keep them in place. And this was such a fun DIY to put together. I would really encourage you to make this. And you can definitely make it your own by kind of adding your favorite fireworks. The little packages of like sparklers and the firecrackers and stuff, really super cute. Once I get them all glued down, I think this is ready to go. What do you guys think about our little beachside fireworks stand? Oh, wait a minute. I forgot to distress the top. You know, I'm not going to let it go a little bit undistressed, right? So I just use my ivory brush and distress my awning and kind of like where I put like the sparklers and the rockets on the top, just to make that look kind of coastal as well. And that is definitely the final touch. Here it is, our fireworks stand. I love it with the firework background back there. I think that really makes it look so cute. And I just love this DIY.